So you're new to resin, and you just got the last of your supplies in. An adorable mold you saw your favorite YouTuber using, and you just can't wait to see what the finished product looks like. You get all ready. You get all your protective gear on, and you start mixing your resin. Now you read all the instructions, which seems super simple. You stir the two parts together, add color, then pour it in the mold. You pick your favorite color, and you get it all finished, and you just can't wait for those next 24 hours to go by. As you go to bed, excited to see what your finished product looks like, you start to dream about your new hobby and all the amazing things you're going to make. You wake up so excited to demold your first resin project. Your 24-hour wait period is finally up. You grab your project and Hey guys, Brandy here. So I'm going to talk about 4 different reasons why your resin might stay goopy, nasty, sticky, just didn't cure all the way, it didn't get hard. So resin comes in 2 parts. You got part A, the resin, and then you'll have part B, which is the hardener. When you pour these 2 parts together, they create a chemical reaction that causes it to harden. Well, as you could see in the beginning part of this video, one of the mistakes you can make is only pouring 1 part, which I've done this before in real life. I grabbed one of the bottles and poured and then set it back and then completely forgot which one I had already used. So of course my resin came out as liquid still. Now, another cause for sticky or uncured resin can be not mixing it well enough. So both parts need to be mixed a certain way. It all depends on the resin. They usually do it by ratio, so it can be 1:1 or 2:1. It all really depends. So make sure you read the instructions. And the ratios can either be by weight or by volume. If they're by weight, you want to make sure you get like a kitchen scale so that you can pour one and then pour the other the same weight, or however the ratio is, 1:1, 2:1. But if it's by volume, you can get these measuring cups. Usually they'll come with the kit, because I know like the Bond Crafter kit that you get, it comes with the cups, but they will have measurements on them, whether you use metrics or the US equivalent, the cups and ounces, fluid ounces. And when you're measuring by volume, what a 1:1 ratio means is that you measure out equal amounts of the resin. So if your mold calls for 4 complete fluid ounces, then you would use 2 fluid ounces of the part A and 2 fluid ounces of the part B and mix those together. If it's a 2:1 ratio, you see which one is 2, so it'll say like A to B 2:1. So you'd use 2 parts A to 1 part B. So say you need 3 fluid ounces for your mold, then you would use 2 ounces of the resin and then 1 ounce of the hardener. So the hardener is going to be half as much as your resin when it's the 2:1 ratio. I really hope that helps and makes sense. I've always been good with numbers, so I try to explain it as best possible to people who are not math people. But if it doesn't get mixed enough, if any part of the resin or the hardener, if they're not completely mixed, it can cause sticky or goopy spots within your resin. So while you're mixing, you do want to make sure that you're scraping the sides and you're scraping the bottom. And it can take up to 3 to 5 minutes of stirring by hand to make sure it's fully mixed. You can tell when you start mixing them together that they start looking cloudy. So you want to keep mixing them until you come out with a completely clear resin. You don't want any of those little cloudy streaks or wispy streaks left in there. And then you'll know that it's mixed all the way. Now, I do have a tip for whenever you're mixing the resin to make sure that you're not using the same bottle twice. You want to keep the bottles in separate areas. And then as you use them, put them back in their spot that they stay stored. That way you're not accidentally grabbing the same bottle twice, and you know that you've already used it because it's back in the place where it just stays all the time when you're not using it. So I know me that whenever I'm mixing, especially since it takes so long to mix, I do have issues with my wrist. So it can really hurt my wrist mixing for so long. So there are different companies that have come out with mixers that you can actually use for mixing resin. So the one that I have here is the Resiners brand. I really like their brand. I found that they have really high quality compared to other brands like Let's Resin or like the cheap brands that you end up getting off of like Amazon or Temu. And they also come with warranties, which I think is amazing for that company to be doing. So I bought one of these mixers for myself. I am not sponsored by Resiners, although it would be awesome if I could get sponsored by them because I absolutely love their stuff. And I do love Let's Resins, like Pigments and resin and all that. I think they have really good resin as well. And their molds, they have good molds too. But I found that their equipment, it's not quite as sturdy as you'll find with the Resiners brand, and not quite as durable or quality. And I will have links to all these products that I'm using in the description below. I do also have, if you're interested in the Bond Crafter resin, trying that out. It's good resin for beginners because it's budget friendly and it's easy to work with. It's not the highest quality resin that you can find, but if you're just starting out, you're gonna make lots of mistakes. It's just how resin works. So I recommend trying the Bond Crafter resin. It does come out with good results. And I do have a coupon code in the description below if you're interested. Just follow the link. Use coupon code Braxley's Place and you'll get 12% off your purchase, which is really a good deal because their stuff is already priced really budget friendly, because working with resin can get really expensive. So anyways, I do enjoy using the mixer because it does save my wrist and it saves time as well. It definitely gets the resin mixed up quicker than I can do by hand. But I am sure to go back after it's done mixing and scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, and mix it a couple more times by hand. But using the mixer as well can really help avoid not mixing your resin enough and coming out with little spots that didn't cure because it didn't get mixed enough. So like I said, I do like the Let's Resin, pigments, powders, all that stuff that they have to offer. So I bought these pigment pastes and I'm trying them out here. So if you use just the tiniest bit, it'll still come out kind of translucent. What I'm working with right now, I want it to have that really thick, opaque finish because I'm going to use it in a bigger project where I really want that to stand out. If you use a good amount of well, you don't even have to use a lot, honestly. They create a really nice opaque finish. And these come out a little glossy, but they are not like shimmery like the mica powders or the glitters or any of that stuff. So temperature can also have a big impact on your resin curing as well. So the colder it is, the longer it takes for your resin to cure. And the hotter it is, the faster your resin's gonna cure. So there is what they call the sweet spot. It's between 71 degrees Fahrenheit and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's why there's such a large window whenever you're reading the instructions on the curing time for your epoxy resin. It's gonna be, they usually say between 24 to 48 hours if you're using just regular epoxy resin. For the deep pour, it's usually like 48 to 72 hours. But the reason there's such a long gap is that it all depends on the temperature in the room while your resin's curing. Because like I said, the colder it is, the longer it's going to take. The hotter it is, the less time it's going to take. So if you're used to working in a hot room and then a cold front comes through, and then you waited the amount of time that you normally wait, but your resin's not cured yet, it might just be that you need to wait a little bit longer because it got a little bit colder. But that also brings me to the fact that if it is too cold, it can actually prevent your resin from curing all the way. To help with that, you can either move your project to a warmer space to heat it up, or you can use a curing machine. So there are a lot of different curing machines out there. Just a couple videos ago, I tested out the ToAuto UV Resin curing machine, which I ended up really liking that one, but it is a little difficult to figure out the settings on it, which I did let the company know. So hopefully they'll come out with a different machine that is easier to operate. But that one's like a heavy duty metal machine that's used for UV resin. And the one I have is the Let's Resin curing machine, and it works. It's just, like I said, the quality's not as good as the Resiners brand, which I do not have the new Resiners curing machine, but they have one, I believe it's called the G3. I'll go ahead and put a link to that one in the description as well, because the next one that I end up getting, I am going to get that one because it's a combination epoxy resin and UV resin curing machine. But like I said, I found that their stuff is more quality, more durable. I'll have all those links. If you prefer to support Let's Resin, I'll have that link as well. And like I said, it does work. It's just like the plastic's really thin and it's not the best quality. But what the curing machine does, it uses heat to cure your resin faster. So if you are in a place where you can't get enough heat to your resin, then I suggest getting a curing machine. Or if you just want your resin to cure faster, because I know I get impatient with it. So that's why I got it. Like, especially if you're doing something with layers, it's really tough to wait, 4 or 5 days if you're doing 4 or 5 layers, when with the resin curing machine, you can wait a couple hours and your first layer will be cured, pour another one, wait a couple more hours. But I think it's a good investment if you have the money for it. Resin can be a really difficult craft. So don't be hard on yourself whenever you make mistakes, because Lord knows I make mistakes all the time. You can see it in my videos. I don't leave that out because resin is a really difficult craft. So just be patient with yourself, and practice helps make beautiful projects. Well, I hope all this information was helpful. Please like and subscribe if you found it helpful. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye.